So here, let me get this one to focus for me. This is the smallest version, so this is his normal. He is almost complete. He just needs highlighting and final details kind of done on him. And then he grows up to this stage. Get him to... And you can see his sword is kind of even blocking his face, but... So he needs still some more layers put on, and still his runes that he'll have on him, basically tattoos at this point. Well, at the smallest stage, there'll be tattoos. At this point, they'll start to kind of glow. Then his next stage is the same mini, same pose, but slightly larger. And again, his runes will actually be across his back and starting to have a glow effect on them, or a bigger glow effect rather. And then this is his giant size, and I have basic colors on him, but pretty much no detail work whatsoever, just so that you could kind of, because it's all one mini, it was kind of fun to stop in a random spot to start the paint for the show. And then his normal size comes with the base, but the other ones are baseless. So what I did was I printed out a base that I found on Thingiverse. No, this was my mini factory, sorry. And it comes with like little runes already on it, and as the base gets larger, you see more of the runes, and you can see them kind of developing larger and larger all the way up to the gargantuan size. Make sure I get that to focus. But what I did was I printed these all in red resin, and then I'm putting a base coat on them so that when they are finished, they will have a basic kind of glow effect happening behind them, almost to where they look like lava coming through. And what I'll do is I'll add more details on these to give it more of a lava kind of feel, basically. Do you have something you wanted to say? Okay.
No, it looks really good.
Di's over here staring at me, so I was like, wait, did I do something? So that's basically where we're at right now. So we're, oh, and this is the other mini that is for the same... Hi, Izzy. We're on the show. This is for the other mini that is for the same customer. And I've added some details to the base. And I've forgotten his name. It's on the bottom. Nezul. So he's really cool, and I'm really proud of him, and he's awesome. So he's all done and ready to go. As soon as these guys are all done, then they should be, which they should ship tomorrow, honestly, to the customer. So we're going to go ahead and start getting painted as soon as I get another sip of coffee.
Would you want to talk about the 40 followers?
Oh, yes. Then this is the beholder that I was talking about as well. So it's really kind of part of the tree. And my film went away.
I'm not sure that the mic might have gone away too. That's why I came back to this.
Oh, okay.
But that's the loop. They'll get this.
Yes, the loop will show all of the different models. But again, as soon as we hit 40, we'll send everybody a link where you can vote for which one I'm going to paint and give away. So I think at that point, we're ready to actually start again. So I have a few new types of paint that I want to talk about. One of the new types of paint that I got is called a contrast paint. Let me shake this up. So it doesn't look like we're in focus either, sweetheart. It's a contrast color, and what this kind of does is it kind of shades and highlights at the same time. So I currently have an orange and, well, this is called yellow, but it kind of goes orange, and a red on this. Then I also picked up some of Game Workshop's metallics, and like this is night scale. What I'll be using on this guy is my blue, which completely disappeared. But that's what's going to make the gem on the end of his sword blue. And it's just, oh, there it is. So it's this, but it's called Elven Armor, and it's a really beautiful metallic paint. And then I also have color shifters now. And I have completely, oh, there it is. Try to put everything within my hand's reach, and because I moved everything, I don't know where anything is. This is a gold to pale blue, and what it'll do is it'll shift from one color to the other depending on the angle that you're holding the mini at. So it's actually really kind of cool looking. And I was thinking about doing his armor, the hard bits of armor, in that color. So we'll actually start with that first, because I have this guy that's almost done. So he's got the little knee pads are really the only part of armor that he has. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that up. Get my tiny little brush here. Got everything everywhere, so I'm going to move my guys out of the way so I don't knock them around. But it's kind of fun painting 4 of the same character, basically, but just adding more and more details as he gets larger. So you can see how this is just staying that green color, so I think what I'm going to have to do is base it in white to be able to get that shine to come through. Brush back, washed again. So all I'm going to do is take his knee pads on each model and take them to a nice white so that that armor really shows through. And then he also has these little bits right here that are metal. And then right in here, what's holding the gem on is also metal. But I'll probably do those in a silver rather than this same armor on his knees. Hey, Jake. Sorry, I'm occupied over here, not even noticing chat at the moment. Oh. Pizza sounds awesome. Although, Sunbrand, I know that you and I just do not eat the same kind of pizzas. Eventually, we're going to... I'm going to have to use a different brush because that one has a furry at the end of it and it's really irritating me. Sorry, I was reading chat. Yeah, I've been so focused on getting so many different things painted that I haven't really kept up with getting people updated photos of minis that they've ordered. I apologize. We are working on our setup for the painting show, and eventually, don't know when, but eventually oh crud, got a toe there. I do want to have a setup to where I can have people on the show with me, and Sunbaran will be one of those pizzas. One of those.
Pizza on the brain.
Yeah, I got pizza on the brain now. One of those people that will be on the show, and she's basically a beginner painter, so it'll be kind of instructional. Oh god, I am just hitting paint everywhere. Sorry, hold on.
It'll be a fun get together.
It'll be a fun get together, yeah. Sorry, I just gotta get this white off. And that's why we keep Q-tips around. Yay, Q-tips. I love his cape and his sword in this position, but it makes his knees and his back legs really difficult to get to. If this guy had a base on him already, there would just be no way I could reach in here. That's why I prefer to do basing myself. It gives me a lot more angles that I can work at. Not necessarily see and work at, but we'll get it figured out. Oh, sorry. Drunken Panda. That's awesome. All right. So I did figure out a good way to do lava on the base that I was working on before. Got a drip of water there. That it ended up working. I had to like readjust what I was doing, because what I did was that same medium that I use to do my, here it is, the same stuff I use to do my water effects, the acrylic medium, I mixed some with yellow, some with red, and some with orange. And my intention was to kind of pour it and let it travel through the grooves as it wanted to, the ones that I had kind of created in the clay. But when I mixed the red in, it just turned pink. So I went ahead and used it, but then I took more red and painted on the top of it. Then I took the yellow and the orange and just kind of dripped it in random places and let it flow down, but then I took a toothpick to kind of swirl it in so it didn't look like it was just sitting on top. The only other thing that I want to do to that base is then take some black and come up around the edges, you know, where lava starts to cool, it starts to turn that obsidian black shiny look. So I want to add some of that to the edges of it as well. And then my volcano shall be done. So my intention was to add, I'm sorry, I'm like coughing and my allergies are acting up, which is bugging my throat, so it's always fun. My intention is to take these bases and add a little bit of, since they're already red, I just want to add some of the mixture of that same stuff and make it the yellow and kind of put just the tiniest bits in places to where it has a little bit of color change happening in those crevices that it already has in the base. And then for this particular one, the biggest one, I also have some pillars that I had from a terrain set. I'm not really sure even where I got them, but they were with our minis in our display cases. And they just happened to be the perfect size for it, well, almost the perfect size for him to have his hands on. And they look really good too. They're painted beautifully. I did not paint them, but they came to me that way. So I thought I might use these for him, and all I'm going to have to do is simply raise them up the tiniest bit, and I'll use a little bit of clay to do that. And when the clay dries, I'll paint them to look like more of the base of the columns. But the same runes that he's going to have on him, I'm also going to have on the columns. Kind of like powering him up. Oops. Hang on one second with me. My computer's doing a stupid thing and I can't see chat. There we go. And of course, as always, if you guys have any questions, just shout them out. And if I don't see them, Ty will yell at me and make sure I see them and I will answer them. It was really nice when Cora was online. She's not home right now. Sorry, they're not home right now. It was really nice when they were here and they were in chat and answering questions for me as well, because their painting skills are like, as early as they started painting, by the time they get to my age, they're going to be like world class. They're going to be world class well before my age, but I just can't even imagine how good they're going to be, because they're already really good. I don't think they left their monkey out here. Do you know where they put the monkey? The space monkey?
Take a look.
I would love to show that off. Because his knee is bent, the straps for the armor doesn't actually go all the way around. Alright, so now I can jump back over here because he should be dry enough. My coffee is in the way. No luck?
No luck.
Okay.
I'll keep looking.
Picking a brush. Alright, now let's try that color shifter. And I've found, I painted one thing with it already, and I found that, this is why I don't share brushes, by the way. I constantly hold them in my mouth. I found that the longer, like, the more dried this color shift gets, the more you can actually see that shifting. Let's see, where's my... I painted a jellyfish with that color shift, and obviously I used the blue to purple on here, but you can see how as it turns you get different colors on the side versus the front, and then when I turn it, those colors shift over. So it's very shiny. It's very cool. It's definitely something that I am looking forward to playing with. I don't know why you're teasing me with pizza. That's just mean.
I'm not sure where to work.
Okay. Well, we can't find Monkey Man right now, but show off her work or their work later. I'm hoping to have Cora on the show as well to paint with me. And also another thing that we want to figure out how to do is Michael Mordor has offered, very generously offered, to come on the show. Not sure what the format of that show would be. It might just be question and answer, because we'll have Michael here and he's like an amazing resource to have. And just being able to sit and pick his brain would kind of be amazing. So that may be all we do that day. Kind of fiddle around with a few paints and effects and stuff like that, but in general, just kind of a chat. But we'll have to definitely do a different time on that show, just because he is in Scotland, so he is currently sleeping at the time that we currently run our show. And we've been batting around the idea of maybe streaming twice a week as well. I just read that would be so awesome, but I'm not sure if you mean having Cora on the show, having Michael on the show, or streaming twice a week. From Max Universe. So does anybody have a favorite so far of the possible giveaways? Okay. Oh, that is my coffee, not my water. That would be so gross. Yes, the Dinosaur Merchant is going to be, I think, the one that I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to move my water away from my coffee. I think that's going to be one that I enjoy painting. There's so many details in there with all those little packages and all of those kind of things. It's going to be amazing. All right, now I'm going to do that metallic blue from Army Painter so that you can see how like amazing that looks with how it's going to make that stone really just pop out of there. I don't know why I constantly put my palette on my left side when I'm right-handed. Let's see, make sure I get in the film. And this is one of those eyeball moments. Won't be so bad on the other ones because they're bigger, but
I got information telecommuted to me.
oh, do we have Monkey Man?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to switch to the other view and I'll do a big Monkey Man? So this is what Cora just finished painting. Let's see. I think that's focus. So it is completely awesome and completely cool. So the flag was painted with some of that contrast paint that I was talking about. But one of my favorite parts, that the details work that they did, was if you look at the back, it's all dusty and dirty looking. But if you look at the front, from the knees down is the only thing that's dusty. You can switch it back to regular now. Mainly because the thought process in their head when they were painting it was that it's you know, you're out on the moon and you've just tripped, and so your knees are all dusty, but when you tripped you fell backwards, so then your back got all dusty. But I think and this is a mini Monster Mayhem. I did it wrong again, didn't I?
No, that was right.
Oh, yay! I'm so proud. This is one of his models. But just the thought process of, well, this is what would happen if I was on the moon. I mean, I love the details that they got on this. It looks really good. So just had to show off a little bit because they were working on that yesterday and today. Okay, back to painting gems. One of the really nice things about doing models for people on Hero Forge is they can go on and design them completely how they want, and then I can print them and paint them. But this particular customer went as far as to have the model colored, so whenever I downloaded it, I could see the image on the website of what it looked like, and I'm like, okay, that's really cool. So I'm trying to stick to that as much as I possibly can. Yes, Planet of the Apes made it first. My air conditioner is blowing the cover that's over here next to me, so I hear tink, 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 tink constantly. I don't know if you guys can hear it on the stream or not. It doesn't really bother me. It's kind of like a little nice notes. I don't know why I've got them in the wrong order. It's bugging me. It looks like we're at 33. So 7 more followers and we'll have that vote. Just got to get your friends on and addicted to it as well, right? Okay. And you can see as the color shifting starts to dry, you get more and more of that shift happening. I hope the camera's really picking up that shift. Oh, I'm picking him up to do a gem. He's not holding a sword. Oops. All right. So since I already have some white out here, I'm going to go ahead and finish this guy's sword up. And this band will be, you can kind of see it, I've already got it pretty much done on this one. It'll be a leather kind of look, like all of his other armor. So what I'll be doing is putting a shade on to kind of deepen everything up, and then I'll come back and dry brush with a lighter brown. And then a lighter green over the green. to just bring out those highlights. With this stance, the back of the sword is definitely the hardest thing to do. And I'll put his runes on him in a black on each one. And then I'll have the glow effect be different depending on what that particular rune is. Sorry, I'm trying to get in here so I can't look yet what the runes are, but like one is stone, so I'll do that in a gray. I know it sounds weird to have a gray glowing effect, but I think we can do it. And if it doesn't work, I'll just use a different color, right? But we've got cloud, so I'll use a light blue on that one. Fire will obviously be a red. And then frost, stone, and storm. That's what they are. You absolutely should be. That is one of my favorite things to do. Like whenever Michael is streaming his painting, he streams every Tuesday and Thursday. And I'm kind of lucky that, you know, self-employed, so I work here. Basically, whenever he's streaming, I try to get out my paints and a project that I'm working on, because I do have one very large project at the moment, so that I can paint along as he's painting, because he's got so many amazing tips and tricks. And there's just so much that I still have to learn. Oops, dropped him on his head. Okay. I'm just trying to peek and find where I still need to get white on this guy. There we go. Okay, so no sword on him, but his hair needs to be white, so I do need to get a little bit more white out. Not white out, but white paint out. We just had to take a trip to Louisiana, and on our way home we stopped at a historical site, and we took the walking tour around the whole thing, and it was called Poverty Point. And it was amazing, but it's 2.5 miles long in, you know, Louisiana, and full of bugs and insects. So I still am suffering from bug bites all over me. So I'm going to periodically stop to itch, which I know I'm not supposed to do, but I'm doing it anyway. It was a really nice trip, though, and I'm glad we stopped and saw it, because it was completely and utterly unique. Like the highest mound that they had built, I forget how tall it was, but it was, some think that they built it to look like a bird, and I don't know who disagrees with them on that, because it definitely looks like a bird. The highest point that you can go to is like the head of the bird. And then from there, its wings stretch out from side to side. And then basically when you're walking up, you're like walking up the tail. So it was really spectacular.
3,500 years old.
3,500 years old. Thank you, Tyler. My biggest, like, can't believe sort of thing was they had made, they had taken stones and made fishing weights. You know, that's not that big of a deal. Until you realize they had drilled a hole. They had made them in a teardrop shape, and they drilled a hole at the top of it to put the string through. And I'm like, that's freaking amazing. It's just absolutely crazy. The ingenuity that humans have kind of blows me away. Yeah, we took Sir out for a walk this morning. Ty and I are trying to walk every morning, and I think I added a few bug bites to my collection out there this morning as well. They tend to spray around town, though, to get rid of the bugs. I love this beard. It's so much fun to paint. Oh, sorry. Basically, I got a nice coat, a thin coat, because I don't really want that purple to go away. But then I'm taking the white back over and just barely hitting some spots to give it a thicker coat. So you end up with those gray tones kind of being the wash that's underneath. Eyebrows. It's hard to see, but because I could see the model on Hero Forge and really get a good close look at the details, his eyebrows actually split on one. So I'm trying to avoid, and it looks like I did go in there, but I'll come back over with purple and fix that. Okay. And then the mohawk. I think that boy is still sleeping. I don't even know where he is at the moment. And the next convention we're going to is completely new to us. We've never been there before. A little more water. And it's called Nerdfest, and it's in Iowa. Ty, if you would put a link in the chat, that would be awesome. But I'm really looking forward to this one. It should be a lot of fun. And Jake from Parlor Games is going to be coming, and I do believe the lovely Max will be attending, but I don't know that for sure. Waiting for an answer. But it should be a ton of fun. I always love going to a new convention because, well, it's just completely unknown, isn't it? Oh, I know where Sir is now. I just heard him licking his chomps over there on the couch. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Alright, I'm going to get out my brown wash. Which I think I might be running pretty low on. So basically all I'm going to do with this is let this kind of coat. Oh, actually before I do that I need to put the brown highlights on him first. Leave. That was the saddle brown that I was using. Yay! I got some really amazing mimics printed out today. So I will set them aside for you and you can paint them when I see you again. Of course, they're, you know, on the large side, so I don't ever want to fight them. But painting them should be a lot of fun. And this is just a base coat, so really it's, oops, I'm probably out of frame, sorry. Just a base coat, so it's really about just getting that color on. And you never have to worry about, oh, you know, I did this base coat, but I can still see all this other color through. It's always, always, always better to do thin layers and build up as you need to, rather than trying to slap it all on in one coat, because you lose all the details of your miniature. And that's just not fun. Because honestly, other than cleaning it off and starting over, I don't know how to get those details back. And this paint dries so quickly that it's not really a big deal to do a couple of layers in the first place. Are you worried he'll be upset because I'm feeding your mimic addiction? I haven't stopped thinking about that woman with the tattoo on her arm, where she had a dragon head on one, like in the center, and then it was a mimic on one side and an orc on the other side. I'm like, that is an amazing tattoo, and I kind of want to copy it. Okay. Don't know why, but well, this shoe is like all warped because he's on his toe. So the way it printed out seems really odd, but it looks right when he's down on his feet like that. It looks right, but holding it up like this, it looks It looks like this man has been through some torture on that foot. It is weird looking. Somebody took some pliers to that man's toenails, all I'm saying. Yeah, that tattoo was just spectacular. And she had a minotaur that she was in the process of getting on her hip that I was just like, that girl's got her priorities right, I'm just saying. Alright, so now for the brown on the skirt. Well, it's not a skirt, but I don't know what else to call it. It's not a cloak either. I'm just trying to do a real smooth line to... Keep getting these stupid little things in my way. Get it away. There we go. But you can see how on these fatter parts, kind of using the side of my brush rather than the tip of my brush. And then when I go to the skinny parts, like along the side in this belt and things like that, I'll use the tip again. I'm probably not going to do the shade next. Because, what's the time, sweetheart?
7:30.
Oh, okay. Good. I was worried I was running out of time, and I want to make sure I do the tattoos. Or runes. But I think I will do the shade and then go to those. Because that's a whole different section to work on, so I can let my shade kind of dry out. It's again one of my favorite reasons for working on multiple miniatures at once. It's because I just don't sit still well. I tend to pick it up and work too soon, and then I ruin my paint. Welcome back. Lulu just got, well, Cora, also known as Lulu, just got back home. I was showing off your monkey.
Max says hi. Cora.
Hello.
The only thing I don't like about Hero Forge, because granted, there is a lot to like. But one thing I don't like is any time you have a character that has a waist piece, they have this really thick line. The transition between the clothing and the skin is not done well.
Someone saying hello from Scotland.
Michael, why are you awake right now? You are insane.
Well, just thank you.
And hi. I was just talking about you not too long ago. I'm going to tell Claire on you that you're awake. Hopefully I'm keeping this in frame because I kind of got distracted with what I was doing rather than paying attention to where I was painting. Okay, I think I've got all of that. Unfortunately, it's squinched up in his tummy. So, I have been a Patreon of Michael's for 4 years now. So we are the Goblin Army. And I absolutely love it. And I highly, highly recommend everybody go and join Michael's Patreon. I'm sorry, it's hot. I can't sleep in the heat either. I absolutely despise it. But Michael, if you have a link to your Patreon and your YouTube and all of that, if you want to throw that in chat,
I can get it.
or Ty can get it. Let's see. Okay, race, boys. Who can get it there first? Even if nothing else, getting on his YouTube and watching those is like super amazing. Because you're going to learn absolutely so much. Okay, I'm going to set you down now. There we go. I'm going to hit my coffee. Oh, looks like Ty won the race. All right. What was that? Oh, yes, absolutely. So this is one of the things. Ty's going to have to switch the view. And I will wait for him to do that. This is one of the things that Michael sent me. So I doubt you can see this massive, amazing thing. But this is the barge that came with Bones 4 Kickstarter. And I absolutely love this thing. It is amazing. And it lives on Ty's desk so that anytime he's feeling uninspired, he can simply look up and start getting back to writing. Here, Tyler, do you want to get me the Dance of Death?
I will work on it momentarily.
So the Dance of Death that Michael sent me lives underneath my TV because he protects us from everything in there. I have Michael's miniatures are all over the house, but mainly they live in our glass case that's downstairs. So this is the Dance of Death that Michael painted for me. And it is amazing and huge, and I love him. But it's really fun to just kind of have miniatures that are painted all over the house. But it's more fun when they're Michael's. I had not heard that they weren't going to put the barge on retail. That's a little bit ridiculous. I was already really sad that I couldn't get the Treebeard again. I've painted him and I love him, and I would, every time people see him, they ask me, you know, how much is he? And I'm like, I really don't want to sell it, so here's a stupid astronomical price. But he would be normal price if I could buy that model and do it again, but I don't really want to let go of him, to be honest. I was just painting again. I wasn't even paying attention to the camera. So now I'm just going to put a wash on so that I can come back and highlight in a little while. Work on tattoos while this is kind of drying. Yeah, 500 is the price of Treebeard because I don't really want to let him go. But again, if they would put him on the website, I would totally sell him. But I was bringing him and Cthulhu around to conventions with me to kind of show off what my, you know, kind of, what's the word, competition level paint jobs would look like. And then I have some painted minis that are just tabletop standard painted minis. And then Cthulhu sold out from underneath me. Did not expect that. So then it was like, okay, well, I guess Treebeard has to keep coming around. So I need to get another Cthulhu done so I can stop bringing Treebeard around, because I don't really want to sell him, and I don't want people to get brave enough to actually buy him. That's sad, isn't it? And it's Reaper's fault. Yell at Reaper. Ugh. Why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense. He would be such a popular model. It really doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, you've got something that's so amazing. Why wouldn't you want to sell more of them? Ah, I dropped him and killed him. Well, then just charge more. I mean, to me, if I've already paid for the model and paid the modeling, and I've already paid for the, what do you call that thing?
Molds?
The mold.
It's go bad, though.
Yeah, that's true. I guess molds do go bad. But still. Well, I guess the price tag is coming off of Treebeard, and he will no longer be traveling with us. So that's a thing. Or he'll travel with us and his price tag will go to like $2,000. It's going to take an astronomical amount to get me to let go of him, knowing that they're not going to sell him. What, Ty? Oh, sorry. Kind of paying attention to the chat that's over there, so I'm kind of... That would work, having just a picture of him with me. But I do have another Cthulhu printed out and ready for painting. I have orders that I need to get done first before I can sit and paint something for myself. Mainly this order needs to be done, and I have one other very large order that I'm approaching the finish mark but I'm not quite there. I have the, excuse me, the dragon turtle left to do on that one, and a couple other little small ones that I'd like to paint at the same time as the dragon turtle, just because for display, they all really kind of go together, like they're jellyfish and stuff like that. And the hippocampus, I'd like to paint them all at the same time. That way, when they're displayed, they kind of have that I'm an army feel. I think Ty's typing an answer to that one, but the quick answer is yeah. As a player of a lot of Ty's homebrews, I love when he makes homebrews. He's really, really good at it. Don't know how much I can say, so I'm going to just leave it at that for right now. Yes, absolute teaser. But I never said I was a nice person. Oops. Flip-flop every which way. I think what it boils down to is we're never really both nice at the same time. Kind of reading chat while I'm just literally globbing on shade. Gotta watch my puddles though. I hate that because they never dry looking right.
I have to take a moment to thank everybody that's joined recently or followed recently.
Can you do it for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm going to take a moment just to thank everybody that's followed us recently since the last time we streamed. I want to thank Nightly Regard, Sawdust Dragon, Dragon Claw, Phoenix Talon, Wolverine 789, and the Shabubu. Thank you guys so much for following us. We appreciate it.
That was some awesome names too. And also when we do the giveaway at 50, I do want to remind everyone you must be present to win on that giveaway. Ow. I do like the fact that this mini is not stabbing the ever-living crap out of me. Like the... I'm going to say it wrong. Ty, say it.
What's that? Which one?
The one that I can't say.
Oh.
Quetzalcoatl.
Yes, that one. He is so spiky and so brutal. I never want to fight him because I'm already dead. Bled to death for that thing. He does look awesome, though. I've got his wings left to do on him. And some details on his base. Like I want to add a couple more skeletons around off the temple, or the temple. I was about to say Templard, it's temple. Just because, you know, why not, actually? Alright, one more to shade, and then we're moving on to fun tattoos, or runes. And those should be quite amusing. I already did them on the smallest model. They're very faint, but that's kind of the point of that. Is that they're there, but you have to look for them. And then they start to get brighter as he gets larger. Yeah, Angie, you were, or Sunbrand, sorry. You were here while I was working on that one. I got the base pretty much done, all sanded up, and everything is almost glued down. I don't have him glued down onto the base yet, just because I want to make sure I finish all the details before I glue him down all the way. His wings are so heavy set that I'm probably going to end up, excuse me, putting a couple of washers under the base to kind of weight it down some more, because he tends to like want to fling back. So, a couple of little, just washers you get at the hardware store, and hot glue underneath. Done. Super simple fix for that. Thank you. I do enjoy base work the most. It's all those tiny little details that just, as Michael says, makes it personal. That piece is actually going along with that giant order that I'm working on. That's one of those pieces. So that is 3 full sets of minis of from Mini Monster. So it's the Light Corrupt, the Abyss, and I always forget the third. I can always name two right off, and then the third just eludes me. He's getting the Light Corrupted, the Abyss, and Aspects of Terra. So the Storm Dragon that I painted last is actually his as well. That's from Yes, Michael, I have learned because you have been an amazing teacher. Oops. No puddling. Puddle equals bad. That would be awesome, Angie. Or Sunbrand, sorry. Trying to stick to screen names, but, you know, habits. The bathtub wouldn't actually be all that hard to make out of clay either. It's a pretty simple shape. So these are actually from Hero Forge. So I had a customer reach out to me on Etsy, and he designed the models, and then I printed them on my Saturn, Elegoo Saturn, and now I'm painting them. So that's why you don't recognize him, is because he is a custom designed. But the customer did a wonderful job with the design, and this is a lot of fun. Especially with the with Hero Forge and being able to kind of color them. So I had a pretty good idea of how to color them or how to paint them, but then also having kind of a backstory and kind of just a little insight into the characters themselves makes it to where it's just super simple to paint them, because it's like, I know you and I know how you should look. I'm just kind of scrubbing it onto his butt here. I'm gonna have to crack my back in a minute. Alright, I think we have shade on everybody. He just does not like to stand. Give him this pillar. There we go. So now we're going to go back to number 2, because number 1, they're really super faint. But if you look, we've got one rune right here, one right here, one right here, one here, and one here. So we're going to do the same placement of each rune on the larger one. But I did get white on this, so I need to get that fixed first. And for his skin tone, what I did was 2 drops of my gray and 1 drop of purple, because the purple was too purple and the gray wasn't purple enough. So just mix up a little batch. Kind of go around and do a couple more like baby highlights, just hitting a few spots where the muscles are with 1 additional layer, or touching up anywhere where, like right here, I got the hair, the white on there. I can oh, that would be fun. My next big painting project is going to be a board game for, I keep forgetting the name of the board game, but it's based on the movie, the Alien movies, but they didn't get the rights, so they can't call it that. But it's a whole big bunch of aliens, and it's going to be amazing to paint. Again, while I've got his color mixed up, I'm just kind of fixing anywhere on the models real quick. This is where using my wet palette would be pretty beneficial, because then I could have that color just mixed up all the time and not really have to worry about it drying out. But I tend not to use my wet palette, and don't really have a good answer of why not. It's like I like what it does, but I don't know why I don't use it. Stand up. Ow. Clean that eyebrow up. There we go. I think that was the only spot on that one. All right, tattoo time. I would absolutely love that, Michael. That would be amazing. I am absolutely not looking forward to tattoo. That's the black wash. Where's my black? There we go. Okay. Now I have to have my paper in front of me because otherwise I can't do that rune from memory. Make sure I get them in the same place too. Okay. This arm is the frost rune. Okay. Literally printed out a cheat sheet. Alright. So his arm is now done. Okay, there's one. I just keep doing that same rune so I get everything in the same location. And you can always take and do this with a pen and then paint over it. So that is the frost rune done. Oh, dropping people. What are we doing?
Some people are experiencing audio delay.
Oh,
So I'm going to try.
sorry.
So the sound's going to cut out for a minute, but should come right back, and hopefully we get in sync again.
Okay, fire is on that shoulder.
Check and see how that sounds to everybody.
Is this any better for you guys? Completely sorry, I did not even know that there was a delay going on. Oh, yay. Okay. So, just trying to identify what one is where so that I put everything in the same location. So it looks like the storm rune is next, which is one of the more difficult runes, but the stone rune is definitely the hardest.
Was lucky enough, though, that the customer who requested this let me know that close is good enough on these. I'm not sure what's going on between you and Michael, but this sounds really awesome. Oh, almost dropped my paintbrush. Is that one done? That one's done. Getting a little bit of water on this. Alright, so then the back of the neck. That was on that shoulder. Okay. So the stone is on the back of the neck. I know I'm being like super quiet right now. Sorry, it's just tiny little details.
Hopefully the changes I just made doesn't blast everyone's speakers.
Yes, if I am now apparently screaming in you guys' ears, please let Tyler know by screaming at him. I've done tattoos on models before, but it's always been kind of just whatever randomly pops in my head. But I really loved the idea of following these runes. Not super easy, but I think totally worth it. Some were so elegant, I wish I had better handwriting. The trick here, amazingly enough, is having very little paint on your paintbrush. Which also has its own issues, because the less paint you have, the faster it dries out. This paintbrush is just a craft paintbrush that came with, you know, one of those big packs you buy at Walmart for $5 or whatever. And Ty just made another adjustment, so let me know if that's any better, guys. It's just the finest tip in that cheap one, but it's working really well for this. The trick is to constantly twirl it, you know, like I'm spinning it between my fingers. Even when I dry it, I spin it to dry it to pull that tip back out. And even when I'm loading paint, oops, people are dying. Even when I'm loading paint, I will twist it in the paint to keep my tip. Okay, so now we are on, ew, that one goes on his neck, and this particular one, his head's kind of back, so we'll have to distort it to make it look right. That's kind of why on this model, his arm is down, so I drew it on there, but then the next model, that same rune, his arm is in the up position, so that's why I held him like this to write it to where it was still in the right angle. So now I've got it on his neck, but his neck is crooked, so the one that goes on his neck, I'm gonna purposely distort and make it look like it's in the fold of his neck, which is not gonna be super easy. I think we'll start from the bottom on this one instead. Yeah, it looks like a big globby mess, but it's kind of what it would look like anyway. And it'll get more defined because remember, on this one is going to be the one that has the biggest glow effect happening. Or the brightest glow effect, I should say. Still trying to get it louder?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to play with it.
Could just start screaming the whole time.
You could talk louder, that's true.
I do apologize, but I'm doing tiny little details. I tend to mumble anyway. Let's see. Okay. Go. All tattooed up. You know, obviously minus the glowing, but. And the. Would you stand up, please? Okay, there we go. And all of the shade should be done enough for me to dry brush over. Finding my dry brushes. Apparently, I only have the one out here. Oh, there it is. It's buried. There we go. And yes, Michael, I'm using makeup brushes. Lost my coffee. Yeah, I mean, as soon as, like, that's good and dry, adding the glow effect, basically what I'll do is just redo the runes on either side. I'll just follow the rune and have the right color for the right rune being brighter and brighter coming out. I won't make thicker lines, but what I'll do is more layers of that color to make it brighter. But the first thing I'll have to do is take a white on either side to really give it something to shine from, basically, if that makes sense. So, but I think we're at dry brushing to bring all of these wonderful details out. So for all of the browns, I'm going to use this desert stone color because it typically gives me a really good scratched leather look whenever I have it, whenever I dry brush with it over a darker brown, which is the look I'm going for on these. And then the green, I don't have a brighter green sitting here next to me. That's a little too bright. I might use this jungle mist. It's really pale green, but a really light coat of it should work really well. Michael, the freehand skill comes from years and years of doing eyeliner. And not to mention having this beautiful little cheat sheet printed out and sitting there right next to me the whole time is super, super useful. All right. So I've got my two different dry brushes, one for green and one for brown, so that I can just kind of bounce back and forth. Gotta remember to bring the... When I've got my silver out, I've got to come back and get his belt. Has got a bunch of clasps on it. Need to put those highlights on there. But see, it just gives it a nice worn leather look. Super simple, super quick. It's kind of why I want to have both dry brushes out at the same time. Because it's so fast to do. Yeah, I love Hero Forge. It's the only... Well, I don't like how thick the joins can be between the clothing and the bodies. But other than that, my only other issue is... Wow, you can spend hours on there. It's so much fun. Plan accordingly. That's all I got to say. You got time to kill? Hero Forge is the place to do it. I don't know if you're still with us, but Jake can attest to that. I'm just going super, super light on this skirt cloak thing. I don't know what that is, because I just want it to get like a... It's been through battle, it's scratched sort of look, you know? Oops. To number 2. Do you mean like a custom game or a custom metal mini? Because I see metal minis in game stores all the time. And I think even, well... I'm sorry?
I'm talking specifically about Hero Forge.
Oh, I didn't know there was anything else out there like Hero Forge. I am trying to catch up, and it's like I can't catch up. I don't know what the D6 thing. I'm trying to figure what that was. Sorry. Sometimes the chat, when you guys really start getting going, it flies by me, and I can't get it all. So I feel like I've missed a lot. But that's okay. You guys enjoy the chat, and I'll keep painting, and good things will happen. I do have to say, from a printing standpoint, Hero Forge's minis are add supports and click go. It's a real simple print.
Yeah, I think the point we were trying to make is that sometimes they're kind of cartoony looking.
They can be, yeah. But I'm okay with that look on a lot of things. Like dice heads, they pretty much do almost exclusively like big fat head miniatures, and I mean there's something about having a mind flayer with a big fat head and itty bitty little body. Just makes it not so scary. I'm kind of okay with that. Yeah, I think I picked the right green for this. I like how this looks. What are you over there fiddling with?
Your next stream. It's a mic stand.
Oh, okay.
Not for right now, just for next time.
Gotcha.
We will fix this.
Yes, we will. Like I said, we're still kind of working on...
Sorry.
You made me jump. That's nice, Michael. We're still kind of working on our setup and everything else like that, but as we get more into it, it'll just keep improving, you know. I mean, I think we're doing pretty good for our 8th stream. No, I don't think so. Can you guys hear Ty making all that racket in the background? Okay, that was pretty noisy.
Sorry.
He says sorry, but he doesn't mean it. Yeah, I think we have to get to 50 followers before we can become an affiliate. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. But that's why also we're doing a really big giveaway to try to get there quicker. Okay, Ty's done for right now.
Your time is 8:35.
Oh, it's 8:30. No. Okay. Well, I think we're going to call it a night then. Unfortunately, I didn't finish these guys, but you got to see the tattoos. You know what I'm going to do for the tattoos to finish them. I keep calling them tattoos just because that's what I'm used to, but they're runes. And then... like this is the big guy will be, let's see, get him on his face over here. I love how this looks. I still have a lot of detail work to do on these bases, but it's fun, so I don't mind. But he will be probably, let's see, about like that. And then that will be right about here. So I'll have to clip a few pieces to make it fit. Absolutely, absolutely, I can do that. Let me get the other guy like that. So basically, he's gonna be like this. And Ty, do you want to switch to the main camera for me? I'm gonna very carefully pick him up so that I can show you him on his base. But I've got him situated. Don't move. So he will be on his base like this with these columns. And then there's runes on the bases themselves. So I'm going to make sure that those are really well highlighted too. And then, like I said, oh, I shouldn't have done that first. Hold on. Oh, let's see if I can turn back around. Then, if you put a light underneath, because it's that red resin, it'll have that glow like lava. So, all right, for size comparison, oh. So, there's number 1. Get it to focus on those. And I don't know if you can tell, but I do want to show on the base of this one, I gave him a little spell scroll, and I actually wrote in there as well. So there's like little spells in there. So, Ty, I may need a second set of hands here, baby.
Okay.
You're gonna have to come around to this side because they would have size comparison, but I can't hold all 4. So there's number 1 and number 2. And then number 3. And number 4. So number 4's base, number 1's base is slightly larger than 1 inch. But number 2's base looks like this, and it's right at 2 inches. Then number 3's base is, let me double check that one. Yes, it's a 3-inch base. So he goes on there. And then number 4's base is a 4-inch base. And he goes on there. So the only one that is not quite right was this guy. Because because he came with a base. So if I put him on a 1-inch base, he was actually shorter than this guy. And I'm like, that doesn't look right. So I went a little bit bigger on his base just to make the perspective of he should not. I mean, like the top of his sword was even with this. And that just didn't seem right at all. So I made him a little bit bigger than I probably was supposed to, but... sorry, I was reading text again. But, oh, yeah, Sunbaran ordered some bases that basically it's just something that you can set something like this on, and it's an LED light, so you can light it up just with it sitting on there. So that's something that we've gotten in, or getting in, so that we can test whether or not that works. So it mainly was because of the base that I did for the Phoenix, where it has a glow effect as well through the eggs and the fire. That's the Corrupted Phoenix's base. I think it's you can kind of see it, but maybe not quite. But that's what I wanted to have a light up base for, is for when I want to do effects like that. And, you know, the lava that's going to be in these cracks. So, but any other questions? Yeah, that is definitely a thing that Amazon is really good for. So that's always fun. Anyway, any other questions? Get your friends to come and follow, because like I said, we're very close to voting on the giveaway for 50, which we'll vote at 40. But I'm gonna sit here and finish these guys up so that they can ship tomorrow. I'm excited about that. I'm sorry, Peg?
You want to search that a little bit?
Yes, I wouldn't be too concerned about them in the mail. I'm going to pack them really, really well. But also, if you think it would be better, I can, rather than attaching them to their bases, I keep picking up the wrong mini to the wrong base. Rather than gluing them on the base like this, I can finish the base and pack it, and finish the mini and pack it, and then you can put them on the base. They basically balance, but if I were you, I would glue them down how you want them, but I can let you glue them down yourself, and it might be a little better. You too, Michael. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope it gets cooler so you can actually go to sleep, because you kind of need that. Yeah, we've had some issues with the mail, but I will be packing them super, super carefully. And I will not be writing fragile all over the box again unless you would like me to. I can.
Yeah, apparently that makes it a target.
Yeah, apparently that can make it a target, so I might skip that part, but I do tend to overwrap and make sure that nothing can really shift in the box itself. Michael has shipped me quite a few minis from Scotland, and the box will come in completely destroyed. It'll have like dents and holes and whole corners crushed in, and then I open it up and all the minis are perfectly fine. I've never had anything like, there was a couple that had like it was a metal mini and the arm had come detached, but it was just pop it right back on and that was it. I think there was, I say a couple, it was probably one, but I pack the way Michael has taught me to pack. But anyway, so do the follows, do the likes, do the, get your friends to follow, and we will see you guys next time.